Because if you're not, I'll give you a brief rundown of what this game is. Or I could just give the very, 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 very short version. Because the very, very, very short version is very, very simple. The very, very, very short version is... This is Mad Lib's Mountain Blade with nothing but text and ASCII. So if Mad Lib's Mountain Blade is something that seems interesting to you, that's what this is. And also, by the way, some of you might like to know this. We have 232 Partner Plus points. And it's only the 13th. So let's mount some ASCII. Shall we? I'm gonna load a save game, and cheese is my save game. And I need to move chat down here. You guys wouldn't want to block the beautiful aesthetic and visuals of this video game. All right, so we have an 8-man tournament happening. Well, that's exciting. But first, I think it's most important that we visit the throne room. We are still king, after all. Or actually, sorry, we're not king. We are supreme, is what we are. So we are referred to as Supreme at times, which is incredible. So don't, if there's weird words that don't seem to make sense or funny names for things, it's chat's fault. Not mine, okay? You can watch part 1 on the VODs channel if you want to see that monstrosity. You enter the throne room and take your place on the throne of Quaesidonia. You are told there are just 8 people waiting to see you. Of course, we made it the law that everybody has to wear hats, so everybody wears hats. You are visited by a particularly short townsman who wishes to do his part for the country and fight. Sure, welcome to the army, I suppose. +1 peasant for free. You are visited by a local blacksmith who wants to join your army as his older cousin did. Well, all right. Two peasants, I suppose. You are visited by a guard who says he needs some gold to repair a small makeshift watchtower his unit has been using to protect the woodlands. What do you think, chat? Do we refuse to help? Throw him in the dungeons? We're not rich. What are you talking about? Cheap? Not cheap. Gold? Ain't. You order the gold to be paid immediately. The gold is accepted, and the farmer smiles and bows and then says, bless you all, my supreme. He wasn't a guard, he was a farmer. You are visited by an armed bandit who says he will join your army for a fee of 25 gold. Devilish Potato was right, but chat voted otherwise. To the dungeons with him? An armed bandit shouts, I demand trial by combat! And stares at you waiting for a response. I like his top hat. I think we should let him have the trial by combat. We are supreme trees, and we shall permit trial by combat. A soldier is called forward to fight him. The bandit lands a light punch on the opponent.
Over here, he has a sword.
I think they're punching each other. I don't think he has a sword. The armed bandit lands a bone-shattering punch on the opponent. Your soldier lands a bone-shattering punch on the opponent. The armed bandit lands a hard punch on the opponent. The armed bandit barely touches the opponent with a wide swing. The soldier blobbity 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 blah. My soldier's winning. Currently bandit losing, although bandit is keeping up and holding pretty close pace. That was a pretty heavy hit. And the fighting is finally over, and the winner is your soldier. The soldier is victorious, and by proxy, the man's body is removed from court. You have 4 people waiting to see you. You are visited by a traveling bard who asks to show you his old clicking ways. I am a novice, and I shall play you a little song. I'm going to ask him of his origins. I hail from the Guild of Musicians to the West. You should visit sometime. I'm going to ask his name. The clicker reveals his name to be Asloth. He's a sloth, chat. He's a little slow. Audio, I hope you're doing well, by the way. We're going to listen to his music. I was hoping for cookie clicker music, but chat, what'd you think of that performance? Was that, you think it was acceptable, Keys? What about the rest of chat? 3. that was an awful performance. 3, 4, 1. Okay. To the dungeons with it. Someone always has to say it, Rambo. It pleased you? Let's go with 4. That was acceptable. I will let him leave my court. We have 3 left. You are visited by an old man who asks if you could spare a few coins. He and his family had to resort to eating their dog. Chat, he ate a dog. There's only one thing to do with this man. Obviously, we send him to the dungeons. The old man sighs and says, "Okay then, take me." As he's carried out of the throne room. We lose -1 public opinion, but we gained a prisoner. We're going to send in the next visitor. You are visited by a loud townsman who claims that one of your soldiers burned down his farm when confronted about stealing an apple. He says his livelihood is gone, and he has nothing, and he begs for reparations. 519 gold. Wow. That might be the biggest request I've ever seen from a farmer in this game. Chat's saying refuse the request. Side with the soldiers. The loud townsman groans, puts his hand on his head, and groans before leaving. You are visited by an insane townsman who claims one of your soldiers killed his favorite chicken. Sir Servy! Nothing will bring him back, but reparations are due! He's insane. Pay for the chicken? I told the other guy to leave, whose livelihood is gone, but we're gonna pay for the chicken? Well, we got our public opinion back, I guess. You order reparations to be paid, and the gold is accepted. And the insane townsman shouts, "Yes!" with a ballad fist and big grin and leaves your court. What a costly chicken. Yeah, no kidding. Speaking of costly, let's go gamble. So you approach and see that currently an 8-man tournament is being held. It looks like it will start soon. Do you want to watch? Damn right. You approach and see the banners of an 8-man tournament line the arena. Borin Demon Flayer is the owner of the arena and stands to greet the onlookers. Welcome, good folk. 8 men come to fight, but only one will leave victorious. Prepare to witness glory and greatness. I hereby declare this tournament to begin, he says with the crowds of cheering people watching. What, about the chicken? Yes, I've been scammed with the chicken. You are very accurate, Double Dawn. So I think, yeah, so we can bet on our grand champion, who's Sir Servolf, the Titan of Swords, who we saw like completely bisect the dude in the previous play session of this. But taking a real quick look, we got Yisik the Dice Roller, Enun the Thousand Slain, Derwin Death Chaser, Sir Gith Kilbossum, and Bedwin Divine Punisher, Zex the Bane of Mermen. That's a name. And Rolfolius the Son of Alflaf. Well, we're gonna bet on our grand champion. I think we're... Bedwim the Divine Punisher is a really good name, but I'm going to stick with my grand champion. And I'm going to bet 5,000 gold. 5,500 gold. What do you think, chat? Do you think my guy's going to make it to the end or no? Yes or no? The next fight is Sir Servolf, the Titan of Swords, versus Yisik, the Dice Roller. We're gonna watch the fight. The gates slide open, and one of the fighters quickly dashes out towards the other, ready to spill some blood. The crowd are ecstatic, and cheers and roars of the crowd echo for miles around. There are 3 fights left until the next stage of the tournament. So Sir Servolf, the Titan of Swords, is a pretty chonky dude. He's got a lot of HP. And they get caught in a parry right off the bat that quickly breaks. Servolf gets hit by a fireball blasted from a warlock in the crowd. That's you, by the way, chat. You're the crowd, so one of you threw a fireball. Sir Servolf, the Titan of Swords, and Yesek, the Dice Roller, get caught in a parry that quickly breaks. And somebody else gets hit by a bottle thrown by the crowd. Which one of you did that, chat? Come on. Just why are you throwing bottles at my dude here? Like, come on. Like, just let us have a fair fight here. The Dice Roller shouts, "Yarg!" And gets stabbed, gets cracked in the head, with a lot of force, and is now dead. Because, he got a well-placed light hit on him. So, our guy wins, and we move on to round 2. So, I'm going to watch all of the fights just for the fun of it. Although I'm going to power through these ones a little bit quicker and not do all the shot calling. Okay, so Ewoon, the Thousand Slain, has pretty nice HP. Derwin, Death Chaser's not super strong. Seems like Death Chaser won. All right. Moving on to the next one. Watch the next fight. So this is Sir Gith Kilbasson versus Bedwin, the Divine Punisher. Neither of them are super scary looking. I'm pretty hopeful about our guy, actually. That's pretty good. The Divine Punisher seems pretty strong. And then this one is Zex, the Bane of Merman, and Son of Aflaf. By the way, for anybody who hasn't watched this before, this game has procedurally generated races, and when you start a new run, or a new like set of turns, which can be 25, 50, 150, or infinite turns, when you start a new one, it generates you a bunch of races. This game has like 96 billion combinations or something of different races you can have, so the names are always bonkers, and like the types of creatures are always whack. So in our world, in this world, one of the factions is literally just Cthulhu people that are like immortal, invincible, and the size of buildings. So anyway, yeah, Son of Aflac, definitely. The gates open and slide, and the fighters quickly dash towards the other, ready to spill some blood. All right. My money's on Son of Aflaf. Someone got hit by an arrow from the crowd. Aflaf wants to shake hands. Merman stabs Aflaf's body. Bane of Merman gets hit real hard. Gets hit again, and is now dead. All right. Rofellos, Son of Aflaf wins. So... Next, we get to fight Derwin Death Chaser. Also, by the way, this game's like $8. So I very much recommend. Actually, is it still $8? Is it still on sale? Yeah, this game's 40% off. It's $6 for this video game. Tons of replayability in this one. I mean, it deserves its like 97% positive reviews overall, so. All right, so the crowds scream and shout, and the 2 fighters emerge and begin the long walk to the center of the arena. The moment is tense as they get ever closer until they are almost in reach, and the crowd waits eagerly for the first blow. It's our boy, chat. I will warn you, when you're starting your first run, if you select the It's a Long Story option, it legit took me 2 hours to read it. Going for the handshake for the duel is to the death is insane. I mean, it kind of is. Sir Vervolf, the Titan of Swords, gets a huge hit on Death Chaser. Good way to start it. Sir Vervolf, Titan of Swords, stabs Death Chaser in the chest. They get caught in a parry that quickly breaks. Titan of Swords gets a good hit in. Another good hit in. 50 damage on Death Chaser because he kicks him over. Sir Verwolf, the Titan of Swords, gets a head hit on Derwin Death Chaser, but fortunately he's very nice now. He gets hit gets a huge and fast hit on Derwin the Death Chaser. And there you go. So we get into the next round. I actually don't think I've ever won one of these. Knock on wood. We're gonna watch the next fight. And another thing, if you leave this game a review, the developer responds to every single review. So he'll give you like a thank you if it's positive and like respond to your feedback and explain how he's going to fix it if you give him a negative review. So the crowd cheers for blood and two fighters emerge. This is Bedouin Divine Punisher versus Son of Aflaf. I'm thinking Son of Aflaf's got this. Oh yeah, by the way, HP is persistent, so if they get injuries in previous fights, they retain them. Gets a pair of well-placed strikes on Bedouin Divine Punisher. And Raflos, Son of Aflaf, fakes a swing to scare Bedouin, and then laughs.
Overkill.
And Aflaf strikes the Divine Punisher on the head with incredible force. Son of Aflaf wins. So it's Sir Verwolf, the Titan of Swords, versus Rofello's Son of Aflaf. It's our final fight, chat. Can I get a round of beers for good luck? For our champion, Sir Servolf, the Titan of Swords. Dice roller couldn't win, the gamer's rigged. Sad face. The crowd scream and shout, and two fighters emerge and begin the long walk to the center of the arena. The moment is tense as they get ever closer until they are almost within reach. The crowd waits eagerly for the first blow. Okay, so why is my HP so low? Sir Servolf, the Titan of Swords, blocks a hit from Rofello's Son of Aflaf. Is this like, you know, like, what's the name of that movie? Gladiator, where he gets stabbed before the last fight. Anyway, Sir Servolf gets a devastating hit on Son of Aflaf. And Sir Servolf, the Titan, points his blade towards Rofellos and grins. He gets another hit on Aflaf. Rofellos, Son of Aflaf, hits the Servolf twice as hard as possible. And we lose. He had 306 HP in the fight before that. How many, why am I suddenly tempted to attack the arena? I probably have enough soldiers to destroy the arena, but I can make more money this way, so it's fine. We're gonna go bet on some fights. We're gonna bet on a soldier. I'm gonna bet 4,000 on the soldier versus the Goblin Berserker. The soldier fakes a swing to scare the These are the normal fights, just one-offs. To scare the Goblin Berserker and then laughs. They get parries. The soldier gets a little hit on the Goblin Berserker. Quickly breaks. Soldier kicks the Goblin Berserker over. Goblin Berserker catches the soldier with a quick hit on the head. The Goblin Berserker gets a light hit on the soldier. Ooh. This is bad. Crowd roars for Goblin Berserker. He's got the crowd on his side. Blocks a strike for the soldier. Shouts. The Goblin Berserker shouts, "Is this all you have, coward?" The Goblin Berserker gets 2 fast hits. The soldier's actually stronger, stats-wise. But seems to be losing all of the dice rolls. Goblin Berserker shouts, "I've fought crabs stronger than you." Vote crab, chat. Crowd roars for the soldier.
Overkill.
And I lost more money. Well, there goes another 4,000. Fudge. Okay, well, I need to win my money back. Well, obviously, I'm going to vote for the Eldritch Spark Orcish Warrior, and I'm going to bet all of my money. You'll see why in a second. The Eldritch Spark Orcish Warrior gets a good hit on the Masked Ogre, another hit, and kills him. Sweet. Thanks for the 9 grand. Let's do that again. Obviously the Eldritch Spark Orc. And I will bet 5,000. And once again, bonk. Swing, swing. They miss, 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 miss. And there's my money. Perfect. And bet on another fight. I'm going to take the Masked Ogre Brute, because that's better than a Masked Ogre, right? And I'm going to bet the 15 hundo. This will be a pretty close fight, though, because at least they're both the same species. Okay, so the Brute's got a couple less HP. I beg your pardon. Gets a swift blow from the Masked Ogre like it's nothing. And the crowd cheers. The Masked Ogre gets a light stab on the Masked Ogre Brute's chest. The crowd chants for the Masked Ogre. The Masked Ogre Brute kicks the Masked Ogre back. The Masked Ogre Brute stabs deeply into the Masked Ogre's body, leaving a huge gash. And ads are running in a minute. A Masked Ogre gets hit by a bottle. My Brute gets hit by a bottle. Well, on the bright side, we're winning. Masked Ogre Brute stabs the Masked Ogre's body. And again, and the Masked Ogre swings for the Masked Ogre Brute, but slaps and slightly misses. And then we win anyway, and we get our money back. So I would have made more money, significantly more money, if I'd won that fight. But on the bright side, we got through, and I still made some money. Ended up coming out at a loss, though. But we have a new grand champion, which I'll check once the ads are done running. Need to do some around the house tidying? I betcha, yeah. But yeah, no, this is my favorite game that can be played with one hand. Because I play it with my numpad, so. But yeah, no, this game's an absolute classic. And one of my favorite, like, kinda largely unknown indie games. Like, not a lot of people really know about this game, but it's very near and dear to my heart, shall we say. Yeah, you can very much play this game with one hand. Especially if you're into ASCII curves, if you know what I'm saying. Bought it after you started watching the last YouTube video. You're excited to play it soon? Hell yeah. All right, let's check out this new champion. Rofello, son of Alflaf, is the grand champion of Quaesidonia. Currently holds a total of 3 wins and is so far undefeated. We can watch him fight. So we're setting up a fight for him. He's fighting against Welbert the Gambler. And the crowds echo all around as the fighters emerge from the gates. They stride ever closer and the horns blow and the crowd roars. Welbert the Gambler swings for Rofello, son of Alflaf, but slips slightly and misses, and then is hit by a bottle that was thrown by chat. And then the crowd cheer loudly for Rofello and son of Alflaf, and boo the Gambler. Rofello, son of Alflaf, tips over, and the crowd roar for Welbert the Gambler. Welbert the Gambler tries to attack but slips and misses. What the fuck is happening? And then son of Alflaf strikes twice as hard as possible and kicks the Gambler back, and then Welbert the Gambler is hit by a fireball from a warlock in the crowd, and then blocks a strike, and then swings and misses by mere inches, and then Alflaf shouts, "I'm going to hurt you badly!" And doesn't, but does hurt him. And then stabs him again, and then gets kicks him, and then stabs him again, and overkills him with 40 damage. Welbert, a gambler, has given his life in the pursuit of glory, and the mighty grand champion has successfully defended his title, and leaves with glory and honor, and a higher win count. Okay, well, I can be nice to the grand champion, and help him become stronger, or we can just see if he gets more opportunities. I think I will wait to see if he gets more opportunities. We're going to back out, and I'm going to I think, go to exploring the realm. Let's go to the northern lands again. And I'm going to explore. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to... One to explore. There you go. You notice a band of warriors, and one of them shouts, "We're off to the Strength Stone to ensure our next victory." That dude's got a funky sword hat. All right, well, continuing to explore, we found Fort Northwatch, which is filled with bandits. And we found the Brawler's Pit. Ooh, more gambling opportunities. We're first going to go to the black market. Then I'm going to go to Dock Row. You pass into Dock Row, and you see a man burst out from the Sears hut, shouting, "It's not true!" before running away screaming. From there, I'm going to visit the East Dock Company. I'm going to arrange a shipping venture, and we were quite successful in Orcish Ale last time. I think this time we are going to try something a little bit more ambitious. How about Minotaur hides? It's cost me 10,000 gold, but my investment could prove quite profitable if we win. We are then going to leave there. From here, let's visit the Black Opal, shall we? You visit the Black Opal, a strange foreign ship docked at Dock Row. You are unsure of where it came from, but you can only guess. Yes, that's a Pirates of the Caribbean reference. You visit the ruins of the Count's Arms. You approach the ruins of the Count's Arms, an old tavern visited by many a famous pirate in its heyday, such as Wilbur the Red and the famous and tall and ugly portly pirate. And it was burned down during the last large brawl over during a large brawl over dock space when a ship docked in another ship's spot. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's burned down. Depends on the playthrough. We could visit the Watchtower. You approach Dock Row Watchtower. It's currently occupied by a group of 50 bandits who are here to keep relative order in the docks. We could go back to Meg's Soup Kitchen, but it's never going to end well. It's nothing more than an abandoned house. Who knows who lived here? Let's go to Meg's Soup Kitchen. Fine. You visit a place known as Meg's Soup Kitchen, a favorite for local dock workers and sailors. You enter the building immediately. You're met with the smell that turns your stomach. A large and ugly lady is stirring a pot, while several unlucky patrons fill their bowls with slop and begin eating. We're going to speak to Meg. You approach a woman known as Meg, and quickly notice the worst smell is not the food, but her. She has a dirty white hat slapped on top of her greasy curly hair, and her face is lumpy and covered in warts. You cannot tell where her chin ends and her neck begins. She looks blankly at you and speaks, "What do you want?" We'll see you later, Sentient. Thanks for chilling. Who are you? Meg! She barks at you. What is this place? Meg's Kitchen. She barks at you. This food looks disgusting. Are you trying to flirt with me? Then finally, this food looks tasty. Don't try to flatter me or I'll spit at you. She barks at you. Sounds like me. We're going to stop talking to Meg because that's not good. We're going to look at the food on offer. This is up to you, chat. You approach the counter and see a few things on offer. Rat hide and dustweed broth, bloody rag soup, and mystery mash. What are we in for today, chat room? Mystery mash? You can't tell what's in the mystery mash, but it appears to be moving. And at one point, you could swear the mash even identifies itself as Fred. It was a mash. It was a mystery mash. Yes. It was a mash. Not Fred? Yeah, not Fred. Anyway, we ate Fred. So now that we ate Fred, we're going to back away from Meg's Nightmare Kitchen. We're going to go skip a stone off the dock because that's what normal people do. You sit by the edge of the dock and watch as the water flows out and crashes into the dockside. We skip a stone. We're going to skip another stone. We're going to keep skipping stones. There's just something about this game that's just so utterly pointless for half of it that I just love. It's just like there's things in this game for the sake of there being things in this game. What do I want to do? Let's visit the Hall of Goblin Heroes. You enter a small, dingy house marked as the Hall of Goblin Heroes, and you are approached by a goblin who introduces himself as Zox, an ex-pirate who is now a proprietor of these halls. What is this place? This is the Hall of Goblin Heroes. The black market ceremony. I can't do that voice for longer than like half a sentence. The black market commemorates many heroes, but as much as we get looked down upon, there are great heroes of goblin kind in the world that the world should know of. I open this place with the remainder of my plunder. So he was a pirate and opened a museum. Well, that's kind of lovely. Who are you? Fox. I was a crewmate of the Marie Ilana, and we used to steal all sorts of plunder from the coasts. I lived on the mid deck, and the crew and captain were fooled. I heard Captain Gaston met his end at an assassin's blade. Glad I got out when I could. Should we pay for a tour? It's only $100. What do you think, chat? You guys want a tour of the Goblin Heroes? It might get us some positive rep with the goblins. I think I'm going to do it. Oh, wonderful. Prepare your mind to be greatly enriched by goblin history. Orkruk One-Eye, a goblin who... I'm going to stop doing this voice now. A goblin who is said to have been the greatest strategist, shot his... I can't read the word straightest. I was reading that as strategist. Orok One-Eye, a goblin who is said to have the straightest shot in the whole tribe. But no matter what he did, his chief still doubted his ability. So Orok shot an arrow directly in a straight line above his head and waited for it to fall back down through his own eye. Tragically, after this, he wasn't so good at archery. I will try and do the voice again next screen. Orlak, Steeljaw, was a goblin berserker who had the bottom half of his face cleaved off by an armored knight. When the battle was over, he was found still alive, and the war chief had the shamans make him a new jaw as part of the dead knight's armor. Well, that's kind of badass, actually. It kind of looks like he's got a crown on his chin. That's like some Warhammer 40,000 ass shit, actually. Just like, I'm gonna make your jaw out of the guy who killed you. Marax the Helm was a mighty warrior who once bound all the clans of the goblin kind into great goblin horde. The armies were unmatched in size and left the land in ruin until they were met by an alliance of two kingdoms, where Marak died in battle. The clans have since been divided. Hawkle was a goblin warrior who was tasked with leading a scouting group to a small camp overlooking a large pit believed to be demonic. The party was discovered by a large hulking demon who would have easily slain the party. Hookah leapt forward and headbutted the demon into a deep pit below, but the process burned half of his face and the demon's fiery skin. That's also pretty metal. Goro Littlehorn was the offspring of the goblin and a bull. Strange, but strong. He became a war chief and became famed. I'm not gonna... Wait, so are goblins cows? Yeah. Garlaf was a strong, ambitious goblin, and tattooed his face with an arrow for each chief he killed. The arrow was meant to point to where the chief was. Heaven. And Garlaf became a feared high chief and fought alongside Murloc the Helm. Nuno was the tower was a goblin with ambitions of ruling the human kingdom. He thought that if his helm was taller, he would pass as a human in height. He ended up falling to the blade of Garlaf. He does have a tall crown. Yeah, we literally like paid out of the royal treasury to go to a museum. Yes. Sugo was a ferocious fighter. He was underestimated due to his looks, and he was said to be the offspring of a fair elven maiden and her goblin servant, though this is uncertain. The sleepy runt. I mean, sure. This is a long one. Ukro the Sea Lord was a goblin slave who was made to work below deck. Ukro incited a revolt in a moment of weakness while the ship he was on was being boarded by pirates, and he and his fellow slaves broke free and pillaged the armory and began to kill their captors. With captors dead, the crew of pirates who had raided the ship agreed to split the plunder with Ukro, and Ukro and his crew inspired the other goblin slaves to revolt. And after several raids, the slavers' outpost, Ukro and his fleet of stolen ships liberated the slaves and rained terror on the thieves. So that's why the slavers' outpost is partially destroyed. Actually, no, the slavers' outpost is destroyed because I was a slave, and we destroyed the slavers' outpost. Anyway, Marius the Scribe was a famous... I don't know how long this goes on for, by the way. Marius the Scribe was a famous goblin who traveled the lands writing books, defying human expectation of us being a bunch of dumb greenheads. He was killed and tortured. He was killed and tortured while in South, in a place even some of the bravest men would not dare to tread. A true hero of the goblin race. And thus concludes the tour. Come back anytime if you want a refresher. Still costs $100 though. Man. All right, let's go. You know what's funny? I could probably take over the black market. Enough soldiers. I'm not going to do it. Not yet. We are going to go to the Brawler's Pit, though. We're going to bet on a fight. Costs $5. Chat, do we, who do we want to bet on? Gorm the Nasty Northman or Ranked the Nasty Brawler? I guess they both need a shower. Nasty Brawler? Ranked. I'm pretty sure I mean, you could almost spell naked with that name. How much do you want to bet? Let's just bet 500. Now I'm betting like the entire like royal treasury on fist fights, so you know I'm a good king. Anyway, the Nasty Brawler's losing. Gorm the Nasty Northman gets a critical hit on the opponent. Nasty Northman misses. Nasty Northman misses, or gets a solid punch. Nasty Northman lands a hard punch. Misses. Northman gets a critical hit. Nasty Northman lands a punch. Why isn't our guy even hitting him? Anyway, we lost. Let's bet again. I'm going to go with Ritholaki the Nasty Champion instead of the Unlucky Bandit. And I'm going to bid 1,500. Hope I don't lose. God damn it. Why do I always land with the weaker guy? The Unlucky Bandit lands a solid punch. Fuck. The Nasty Champion lands a hard punch. Well, that's good. I'm slightly more, like, hopeful about this one. The Unlucky Bandit lands a hard punch on the opponent. By the way, you can totally make a ton of money in this game without doing any gambling. I just have a problem. The Nasty Champion lands a punch on the opponent. Nasty Champion misses. Nasty Champion lands a light punch. Nasty Champion lands a hard punch. Nasty Champion lands a light punch. Unlucky Bandit lands a punch. The Nasty Champion lands a critical punch on the opponent, and lands a solid punch on the opponent, followed by a light punch on the opponent. Well, I mean, we're winning. The Nasty Champion misses and then lands a hard punch after missing. And then the Unlucky Bandit lands a solid punch and then misses. And then lands a hard punch, which kind of hurts, but we're still winning. Nasty Champion lands a solid punch, and the Unlucky Bandit lands a light punch, and the Unlucky Bandit lands a solid punch, and the Unlucky Bandit lands a hard punch. Unlucky my ass. And then a light punch, and then a solid punch. Fuck off. And then the Nasty Champion lands a punch on the opponent and then misses, and then lands a light punch and then misses, and then the Unlucky Bandit misses, but then lands a hard punch. Can you stop, please? The Nasty Champion lands a light punch and then misses, and then lands a solid punch, and we win. Whew! And I get my money. I could probably bet once more on whatever they have left. Dirty Bandit versus the Nasty Fighter. What do you think, chat? Bandit or Fighter? One or two? Nasty Fighter. Basically, if you play the game on hard, which I only play on normal, if you play on hard, you essentially have to not gamble. Unless you get very lucky. Unless you're basically rigging it in your favor. The way I play, I wouldn't survive on hard. Okay, so he does have a little bit more fight, more HP, but we get the first hit. The Nasty Fighter lands 2 hits pretty quick. The Bandit misses and then lands a solid punch, and then a light punch, and then a light punch, and then we land a punch, which is good, and then he lands a punch and another punch, god damn it, and then we get a critical hit on the opponent, which is good, bringing him down quite a bit, and he misses us, which is excellent, but then hits us, and then we miss, and then we get a light punch, and then we miss, and then we get hit hard, which hurts, and then hard again, which hurts even more, and then we land a punch on the opponent, which is good, but he keeps hitting us, which is bad, and then he hits us again and again and again, and we hit him, and then he hits us again, and then we lose. All right, that's enough gambling for today. We could visit Fort Northwatch. Fort Northwatch is a bandit fortress complex ruled by Palan the Traitor. The fort is well defended and occupied by ruffians and bandits and men of little honor. You are permitted entry to the fort. Speak to the leader of the fort. The leader of the Fort Northwatch refuses to meet you. However, one of the guards informs you you are welcome to stay longer if you wish. Speak to a local bandit. I drank at the Tick Blood Tavern a lot when I'm not here. Okay. We could hire local bandits, we could watch a bandit brawl, or we could try to buy the fort. You ask around and buying the fortress, and some men laugh, and a guard says a message to Palin, who sends back a letter. For the ruler of Quaesidonia, I ask a fee of 120,000 gold for the fort. That's actually pretty cheap. My cheese, we need to discuss the makeup of our attacking force. Who and how many shall we send? You sure we could take them? I'm gonna send everyone but my peasants. So we significantly outreach their battle score. I have done some spying and arranged some battle reports for you, my cheese. Our battle score is 180,646. Their battle score is 60,741. Chat, I need a round of beers and a vile force of darkness for our good army. Good. Spymaster, let's crush them. My cheese, do you wish to watch the battle take place or just hear about it afterwards? Yes, of course, I want to watch the battle. A foggy night sky shrouds the battlefield. Do you want to launch the attack or wait in hope of more favorable weather? We will wait a while. We have no chance of retreat now. After waiting a while, the weather changes and your troops prepare. A crescent moon adorns the battlefield before two armies clash. Under half a moon, your army trods on slowly to meet the rival group. A lone arrow is loosed, and with that, your army charges out. We killed one of them. On the edge of the battlefield, a tall tree falls down hard and hits a part of the battlefield held by you and kills 3 of your soldiers. Chat, it doesn't matter what video game that I'm playing, but intercontinental ballistic trees still kills me. You manage to push forward quickly and penetrate the center. The breakthrough does a great deal of damage. Holy shit, no kidding. The Northmen fight forward and gain a small momentary advantage over your forces. It's pretty even. You launch a sudden, hard, and fast attack on the Northwatch line, shocking them and pushing them back. The Northwatch managed to form an effective pit. Oh, remember we have a demon in our army, by the way. I kind of forgot about that and wasn't thinking about it, but we do, in fact, have a demon in our army. Anyway, the Northwatch managed to form an effective pincer and overrun your opponent's flanks. And we kill all of them. You manage to push forward quickly and penetrate the center, and the breakthrough does a great deal of damage. The skirmish was a success, and your troops bask in the glory in the name of Quaesidonia. We are going to view the battle report. So we didn't actually lose that much. 232 troops. 2 knights down. Yeah, not too bad. You have won. Palin the traitor flees, and the fort is yours. Fort Northwatch is under your control now. -3 general bandit level in the realm. So we can demolish it or instate it. If we instate it, then we have to run it, which means we have to leave soldiers here. I'm going to hire a hero to rule the fort for me, and I love the fact that the new flag has a Q on it. Okay, so we want one that is green. It's worth the more expense here, because we don't want to lose the fort. Or at least like in the 130s. I love this name. Sir Talbar the Ale Gobbler. I'm sure Sir Talbar the Ale Gobbler is, like, you know, a far cheaper than 120,000. Oh, absolutely. I'm sure that this Sir Myrgoth the Brain Basher. Who has the highest battle score? Sir Myrgoth the Brain Basher at 1890 per higher cost is the. Okay, so do we take the person with the funniest name? Like Agatha the Earthy Tree Guard? Or do we take somebody who's actually good? Because Talbar Bar Ale Gobbler is not that bad, and that's genuinely funny. What, Skiles urinator? Skiles would just be standing on the edge of the wall pissing the entire fucking time. You'd go for Goror. Which one's Goror? Goror the Law of Seas. No, it's Gorlol. Gororlol the Fair. Gororlol the Fair. I mean, pretty strong, actually. Gororlol the Fair is pretty strong. I'm going with Ale Gobbler because that name is too fucking funny. So Sir Talbar the Ale Gobbler is now the commander of Fort Northwatch. Perfect. I would just like to remind everybody that this video game is perfect. Like, there are very few perfect games in existence. Tetris is one of them. I'm just gonna send this at the developer of this game. All right, so now we get extra 27 recruits per year. So I can set fort rules. So I now basically have like a new base of operations. So set fort rules. You begin to discuss the rules you wish the fort to follow with its leader, Sir Talbar the Ale Gobbler. I want them to assist with us. Okay, so I want them to assist with assaults. I don't need them to. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna keep them as backup. I want them to assist with with defense, but not with assaults. And I can upgrade the fort for quite a bit of money. Manage garrison. You currently have no troops stationed in Northwatch. If you wish to add or remove troops from the garrison, you may do so freely. I will add 138 troops because they need their defenses. And that's basically it for that. I guess in the north, the next thing we have to do is we have to take over the black market, which has, what, 1,635 bandits, which honestly, I probably could take over, which would make us money, but we're just going to leave that for now. All right, so we can leave out of this. I'm going to look at hiring soldiers. Local guilds and forts. 73 gold. That's pretty expensive. How about goblins? Right, yeah, duh. Can't do that because goblin slavers. What's up, Cow Connects? I'm going to wait for a minute 30 because ads are running. Also, I need to check something. I'm curious. I might actually have some extra keys for this game. I do, in fact, have a key for this game, which may or may not work. Does anybody want it? Like, genuine question. Like, does anybody want a key for this game? I have one sitting in a folder here that I was told to give away to a viewer ages ago. I totally never did. Here, I'll DM it to you, G-Fin. Let me know if that works. You said yes first, so there you go. 20 seconds left in the ad. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to hire soldiers. Certainly don't have the money. Or 20 of them. We'll hire 20. 35 gold left. And I think that's all that we can really do for this year. So 23 years remaining in our reign. You prepare to move. As you prepare to move on, your head diplomat approaches you. My supreme, are you sure you wish to move on? If there is nothing else you wish to attend to, then there is no issue. I wish to move on. All right. Do I want to attack anybody? We are going to attack the bandit horde. We're just gonna skirmish. I'm gonna send half of my troops, but no peasants. We have a pretty high battle score, because it's 72,748 versus 38,473. So we do, in fact, have a better battle score than them, and we're gonna say, let's crush them. General Karak the Dastard says, "My cheese, do you wish to watch the battle or take place or just hear about it afterwards in the reports? Take place. A cloudy sky adorns the battlefield. Do you wish to launch the attack or wait? Send the army forth." Violet Force of Darkness, chat. A cloudy sky adorns the battlefield before the two armies clash. No weather events during the calm weather. Beneath the thin clouds, your army paces forward gloomily to meet their rival. Your army bursts into simultaneous roar and charges for the enemy. The bandits fight forward and gain some marginal ground over your forces. I lost way more than I was comfortable with there. The bandits managed to take your left flank, trapping your forces momentarily and doing damage before the flank is abandoned. You managed to push the bandits back a little bit, slightly outfighting the bandits. The bandits then break through the lines and manage to push your forces back a little. The two sides fight, but neither seem to gain an upper hand and both fight on. You back through the lines and manage to push the bandits back a little. Okay, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You manage to push forward quickly and penetrate the center and break through and does a great deal of damage. And you manage to take both of the enemy's flanks, trapping them momentarily and doing damage before they pull back. None of them are remaining. Yeah! -8 relation with the bandits. Well, nothing of value was lost. You'll get to play that instead of DF and Cheese Runner tonight. If you leave a review, let Hugh know that I sent you. Hugh's the developer of this game. All right, let's view the battle report. How many did I lose? Kind of a lot, like 215. All right, so we finished the year. Kingdom report. The East Dock Company Minotaur Hides venture has been successful, and I got 32,000 gold. Let's go. You receive 212 gold from rents from your 5 lands. You receive 236 gold from your gambling tax law. You receive 1,480 gold from your general taxes, and the peasants earn you 1,996 gold from this year's harvest. Of course, we do still need to pay people. You enlist 24 soldiers from your 5 lands. Sir Talbar the Ale Gobbler sends 6 soldiers from the North Fort Watch, and from Fort North Watch, and your knights train 5 peasants into soldiers. We pay a bunch of money to people for reasons. Yearning Firefathers attempt to raid you, but are stopped by your guards and flee after a scuffle. Your defense palisades manage to prevent 3 raids from happening. Quaesidonia skirmished with the bandits and lost troops, but it's fine. Spy reports. The rebels enlist 2 new soldiers from their 2 lands. The bandits enlist 362 new bandits and 10 new warlords from their lands. The Kingdom of Krut enlists 71 tribals, 17 berserkers, and 13 warlords from their 6 lands, blah, blah, blah. And your treasury has increased by 34,261 gold, and your bank has increased by 2 gold in interest. Why do we even run a country? Look at these trader profits. I know, I should just, like, retire. A new year is dawning. The tide of time brings in a new year of 168. Next year will be nice. And with it comes a strengthened belief in the militia of the realm. And we get 790 new militia joiners. Damn! All right, well, we got money. Look at that. Money, 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 money. We got 11 people waiting to see us at the throne room. There is an 8-man tournament happening again. Do we do this again, chat? What do you think? I think we do it again. You approach and see the banners of an 8-man tournament line the arena. Borin Demon Flayer, the owner of the arena, stands to greet the onlookers and says, "Welcome, good folk. 8 men come to fight, but only one will leave victorious. Prepare to witness glory and greatness. I hereby declare this tournament to begin," he says, with the crowds cheering and people matching. So, Son of Alflaf does actually seem pretty strong. But these are our options. Rekosh Numbskull the Daggerling, okay. Vorkus the Worldly. Balati Flesh Sculptor. Sir Gelt the Coast Guard. Okay. Dwen the castrated. Gerblat the fumbling idiot collar. And Burred Reddingson. 7 looks good. I'm gonna bet on our grand champion. I don't know. I'm just gonna bet 8,500. Ah. All right, so the next fight is Rofelos, son of Alflaf, versus Rekos, Numbskull, the Daggerling. If a cool name was all you need to win, they'd win. Yeah, no kidding. Flesh Sculptor's pretty good. The crowd scream and shout, and the two warriors emerge and charge towards each other, intent to kill. There is much tension and anticipation in the air. There are 3 fights left until we move to the next stage of the tournament. Why am my guy so weak this time? What the fuck? Alflaf and Rexel Numbskull get caught in a parry. Alflaf manages to get a slight break the parry and get a good hit. Alflaf blocks hits from Rekosh and Numbskull Daggerling. And Rekosh Numbskull gets hit by Son of Alflaf. Alflaf cracks Numbskull Daggerling on the head. And gets a good hit on Rekosh Numbskull the Daggerling. And gets a fantastic hit on the Daggerling. The crowd chants, or Rekosh Numbskull the Daggerling shouts, "I can't wait to slay you." Awkward. Alflaf kicks Numbskull Daggerling back a little bit. And misses. And then the crowd cheer for Daggerling. And, wow. Son of Alflaf gets a huge hit on Rexos Numbskull Daggerling with a critical hit. Well, good shot then. All right, next fight. This one I will power through. This is Vorkus the Wordly versus Balati the Flesh Sculptor. Obviously, my money's on the Flesh Sculptor. But he got hit by a fireball from a warlock in the crowd. Chat, what are you doing? And, okay, cool name definitely doesn't make you immortal. But he does swiftly get an extremely sharp strike on Vorkus the Worldly, so Flesh Sculptor wins. Sorry, I mean, like, just you know, put the fireball launcher away during fights, you know? Stop eating spicy food before the fights. The screams of the crowd echo all around as the fighters emerge from the gates. They stride closer as the horns blow and the crowd roars. So this is for Sir Gelt, the Coast Guard, and Dwen, the Castrated. Castrated seems a little weak sauce, but... okay, so he gets hit in the head and dies. You know in Dwarf Fortress, when you get punched so hard, like, the skull gets crushed and it crushes the brain? That. Okay, so 1 tap. That guy's gonna win. And so this is the Fumbling Idiot versus Barod Reddingson. The Fumbling Idiot kind of has a lot of HP, but Reddingson shouts, "This is going to be overkill when I'm done with you," and then gets hit in the head by a bottle. Followed by then getting hit by the Idiot Color. I mean, he culls idiots, right? The Fumbling Idiot Color, he culls fumbling idiots. That's what he does. So Barrett is clearly a fumbling idiot and died. So naturally, the Idiot Color wins. He culls idiots. Okay, so now this is us, Alflaf versus Flesh Sculptor. I'm not too confident. I kind of hope Flesh Sculptor wins because that's a good name. So this is Idiot Color versus the Coast Guard. It seems that it's pretty even. Okay, Coast Guard dying. Idiot Color may have this. Never mind. Coast Guard can hit real hard. So my money's on Flesh Sculptor, but he's injured after the last fight. This could go either way, really.
Extreme overkill.
Well, we have a new guy in charge. The tournament has come to an end, and by the grace of the gods, the winner and new grand champion of Quaesidonia is Balati the Flesh Sculptor. To be fair, does in fact have a rad name. Unfortunately, the fighter you bet on lost, so... let's go back to the arena. We're gonna see the Grand Champion and bet on the Grand Champion. Dodor of Blackrow. Interesting. So this guy came from the black market. We're gonna bet on our guy. And, buddy, you better make me my money back. Okay, so Baliti Flesh Sculptor versus Dodor of Blackrow get caught in a parry. That quickly breaks. The Flesh Sculptor swings the sword around several times for the crowd. And because he does that, gets stabbed effortlessly by a pair of strikes and takes 50 damage. And then gets hit for another 50. And then the guy, Dodor of Blackrow, trips over his feet, but somehow still manages to hit us again on the head, of all places. And Flesh Sculptor swings for Dodor of Blackrow, but misses by mere inches. And then Flesh Sculptor says, "I'll murderize you so much no one will recognize you." That's a sentence. And then does 34 damage to the Dodor of Blackrow. Dodor of Blackrow tries to attack, but slips and misses. The Flesh Sculptor shouts, "How does it feel knowing you're about to die?" Maybe stop. Okay, then gets hit by a bottle. Chat, please. But then still manages to hit Dodor of Blackrow for another 53. And some members of the crowd hold up a banner with the words, "We bet on Flesh Sculptor," so that's good.
Extreme
And
overkill.
Baleti's Flesh Skull and Dodor get caught in a parry. Flesh Sculptor breaks the parry and instantly gets a sharp blow, and it's a critical hit. Whew, I was worried. Not gonna lie. I had to clench briefly there. So we did win 17 grand, so we made our money back from that initial fight, which is good. All right, let's see his stats. He's got 100. Okay, he's actually got a pretty good strength. I can anoint him, which is pretty cheap, which gives him +5 battle score. In this moment, Sir Baliti the Flesh Sculptor rises, now a member of the nobility, earned through bravery. The crowd roar and cheer. So now he's Sir Baliti the Flesh Sculptor. And then I could have him executed, but I don't feel like being a bad person today. We're going to back out of the arena and then go watch a... Oh, I'm just watching a fight. I will skip through this. Oh, they're not accepting bets at the moment. Well, then what am I bothering here for? What is even the point? I guess because I bankrupted the thing. We are going to go to the throne room because there's 11 people who want to see us. You enter the throne room and take your place on the throne of Quacedonia. And you are told that there is a small line of 11 people waiting to see you. You are visited by a man who is collecting money for his village after their crops failed. What do you think, chat? I mean, 70 seems reasonable. We gain one public opinion. The old man smiles and says, "You was too kind, my cheese. This is greatly appreciated." You are visited by a traveling bard who asks to play you a song on his little goblin drums. "I am a decent musician. I shall play you a lengthy song that is great." I obviously want to hear the great lengthy song. Hopefully it's not a girthy great lengthy song. I don't know, chat. What do you think? Chat likes it. That was a great performance. We shall ask him of his origins. Big Chief give drums. Say Tex G have great gift for playing. We're gonna ask his name. Drummer reveals his name to be Texig. Offer to hire him as a member of staff. He will work for me for 34 gold. And he tells you that his skill level as a drummer is 76. Sure. We hired Tex G as a drummer as my new court musician. We now have a court musician, chat. We're going to send in the next visitor. You are visited by a mad person who shouts, "You are the one who stole my soul! I can see it in your eyes!" So we could kill him for his impudence. We could tell him I stole nothing, be gone. We could send him to the dungeons or remove him from the court. DJ Tex G here with the beats. Slapping some drums. Remove him from court. Chat wants me to remove him to the court or tell him to leave. Let's have him removed from court. Man sighs as he's thrown out. You are visited by a smelly beggar who asks to join your army, as his farmland was ruined by goblins. Sure. You are visited by an armed man who says he is a lone mercenary, and he can be hired. And you are visited by an armed man who says he is a lone mercenary and he can be hired to join your army for 21 gold. It's not a terrible price. That's a okay, that's not bad. Soldiers are like 70 normally. Your guards bring forward a man who is accused of killing a guard. We're gonna ask him to explain himself. I didn't do it. I swear. We're gonna ask the guard for his statement. Your guard informs you he's probably not guilty, but he was arrested for his proximity to the reported crime. What do you say we do here, chat room? Release him, you say? Chat chooses mercy on this day. The man leaves your throne. You are visited by a funny-smelling goblin, and he looks at you silently and hands you a gold coin. Should send the guard to the dungeons. I don't disagree with that statement, actually. My name is Supreme Cheese, not Milord. If you wish to address me correctly, it would be Ma Supreme. Chat came up with this, not me, okay? I will take the coin. You take the coin from the goblin who runs away. You are visited by an old man who asks if you could spare a few coins, as he and his family had to resort to eating What is with you fucks and eating your dogs? I'll give you $3, but what the hell? You are visited by an armed bandit who says he will serve in your army for a fee of 30 gold. Sure. You are visited by a traveling bard who he asks to show you his old clicking ways. I'm not the worst musician, and I shall play you a lengthy song. Get on with it. Is it over? The clicker finishes and grins at you. I can do better. The clicker is forcibly removed from your court. There's one lone visitor waiting to see us. A cloaked man arrives in your court and claims to be a changeling. He says for a gold coin he can change his face. Spooky. Let's see if he really can do it. You give him the gold coin. You hand the changeling a coin and he pockets it and then covers his face with his hands. Moments later. He also changed his hat. That's impressive. Moments later, a swift moment. With swift movement of his hands and his face has changed completely. The truly impressive thing is his hat. Ask him how he's able to change his face. The secret of the changeling is closely guarded. The answers lie to the east. You may leave. All right. I'm going to go hire units. Hire soldiers. Let's hire 50. Just to increase my soldier count ever so slightly. Let's go to Kingdom Upgrades. Go to Productivity Buildings. Let's make some dirt roads. The gold is paid and the dirt path is widened and turned into a dirt road. And we're going to then go to our favorite location. We're going to explore. We're going to go to the Northern Lands once again. And we're going to return to the Black Market. We're going to go back to Dock Row. And we're going to go to the East Dock Company. We're going to arrange a shipping venture. Let's go with the Minotaur hides again. I think it's a 50-50 success chance on that. Let's go to the Lands Beyond, which is the new thing in this patch. It's the infinite procedurally generated events exploration zone. You arrive at the foot of a massive mountain called Mount Caldron. Send one of your knights to scale it. Admire the mountain. Let's send one of my knights to scale it. Prepare to send one of your knights to climb Mount Caldron. Send a knight to climb it. The knight removes his heavy armor and begins to climb using ice picks. And he climbs for a moment for what seems like seconds before he falls off, and the men around laugh at such a poor display. Send him up again. Wow, this game just Wilhelm screamed me. The knight removes his heavy armor and begins to climb, and he cracks and he falls down. I have no knights to send. Well, I'm going to admire Mount Caldron instead. You admire the beauty of Mount Caldron, such a magnificent thing. I'm going to shout up to the top of the mountain. You shout up to the top of the mountain to no avail. Well, thank you, game. You come across a war camp full of peasants who are following a charismatic man who claims to be a foreign-born noble coming to find enlightened souls to reclaim his mighty kingdom. I'm going to attempt to convince the peasants to join me instead. One of the peasants rebukes you and says, "We already have a person we follow. Let's speak with the noble." You speak with the charismatic leader of the peasant group, a man named Kainog Gandikson? Okay. He eyes you suspiciously. Who are you? Esteemed and royal, really? What are you doing here? Why do you need to know? What are these peasants following you? Because it was written in the stars, my friend. You should follow me too. What are your plans for the future? I'll rule a large empire at some point in the future. Where are you from? Somewhere of great esteem, I'll tell you that. Uh-huh. I'm gonna try to convince them to return. Let's just assess them. They're pretty weak. You talk to the peasants and stir a debate that ends with them packing up camp and returning to their homes. Yay, I'm a good person. You find the site sprawling, a site of a sprawling ancient battlefield that appears to have been disturbed by a necromancer. Several less redeemable corpses remain, but the bulk of the dead appear to have been raised and taken. We're going to salvage the battlefield for anything. There are 5 unsearched patches. You search the battlefield for anything of value and sift through the rusted junk. After searching hard, you discover a diamond arrow. It's worth 85 gold coins. Let's keep exploring. You search the battlefield to find anything of value, and you find rusted junk, but after searching hard, you discover a blade that cuts air. It's worth 500 gold coins. We find a gem-encrusted spike-knuckled gauntlet. We discover a gem-covered ritual dagger. And you discover a well-crafted primitive axe. Well, that's cool. I like that thing. All right. I'm going to visit the Royal Bank. I'm going to deposit. I'm going to deposit 13000. 13,000 gold into the bank. So I make 35 bucks next year. And we're going to end the current year. I still want to move on. We are going to once again attack the bandit horde. We are going to raid them this time. I'm going to send half of my troops, but no peasants. We still double their battle score. Wish us luck, chat. We need a round of beer for good luck. Good. Let's crush them. My cheese, do you wish to watch the battle? Naturally, sir. A snowy white night sky adorns the battlefield. Do you wish to launch an attack or wait a while in hope of more favorable weather? We will wait. Snowy night adorns the battlefield before the armies clash. Plus 25%. Ooh. That's bad. Beneath the falling snow, your army marches on to meet its enemy. A lone warrior bursts forward and begins swinging wildly.
No, you. Shh. No, you. You're being louder than me by shushing me.
Will you both shut up?
I love that that's just Hugh's voice, the developer of this game. As the battle rages, a group of local peasants and farmers hide behind some rocks and bushes to watch the fight, and two of them argue over being quiet until a third peasant shouts at them both to shut up. Well, we're off to a good start. You manage to take both the enemy's flanks, trapping them momentarily and doing damage before they pull back. You break through the lines and manage to push and the bandits back a little. And you band together and emerge forward through the freezing cold. The two sides of the fight, neither seems to gain the upper hand and both fight on. You fight forward and gain some marginal ground over the bandits, and you feign a slight retreat only to then move out. And the bandits get caught in a pincer movement, causing great damage, right as an ad starts. We shall wait for the ad to end. I like this game. This isn't a great game to stream for super long segments, but is so freaking fun in like short bursts, you know? Like, it's kind of a hard game to do for a whole stream because I literally lose my fucking voice usually. Yeah, you've always got next time. All right, we got 30 seconds left. We'll move through. The raid was a success, and the troops loot all that they can get their hands on. We get 202 gold. That's not much. Let's view the battle report. I lost 125 troops. That's pretty expensive, but... Stop viewing the battle reports. My cheese, spies have learned of a fight between the Timeless Circle and bandits. Do you wish to watch it? Sure. A magical rainbow of rain paints the battlefield before the two armies clash. Low likelihood of weather. Plus 50 for the invasion defense force. That's some vile magics. Magical rain of paintbows? Okay, so these are two neutral armies. Two armies that I'm not. So these are the Eldritch Spark Orcs basically massacring the bandits for me, which is very nice of them. For a brief, perfect moment, the beauty of the rainbow rain hits the battle, and some stare in awe, and as others weep at the sight of such beauty. And then the fighting continues. All right, well. My cheese, the dastardly Tyakat are attacking us. Do you wish to watch the battle take place? Yes. We have 753 defenders ready for battle. A harsh flaming rain sets the battlefield alight before the two armies clash. That's scary, but at the very least we have a defense assistance. Beneath the flaming rainfall, Tyakat charge in the wrong direction and for a moment, then reorganize and charge in the right direction. These are like bandits, I think. They managed to take the left flank, and your forces okay, so I do kind of lose a bunch, but you manage to push forward quickly and penetrate the center, and the breakthrough does a great deal of damage. You manage to break through their center before forcing them back, and then overkill them. Somehow we kill more than all of them. Banded with -1 troops. Your the raid lauded against you has failed, and your brave defenders win in honor and glory. Let's see how this year went. Uh-oh. East Dock Company Minotaur Heist venture has been unsuccessful. But we did make some money. We enlisted 25 soldiers, and Sir Talbar Ale Gobbler sends me 13 soldiers. Volker's band kill off a patrol of 15 Quaesidonia soldiers. That's unfortunate. So, not as much this year. The year 160 nice, and with it comes the sweeping wind of stagnation. Huh. Let's visit the arena. Visit the Grand Champion. Player prop. And we are clearly going to bet on Sir Balati Flesh Sculptor, our Grand Champion. And I'm going to bet the entirety of my current holdings, not what's in the bank. I still have another 13,000 in the bank. You have a good night, Robel. And hi, Pilot. How's things? The crowd roars as the two fighters emerge from either end of the arena and march ever closer. The bloodthirsty crowd watch closely, awaiting the first blow. Sir Balati, the Flesh Sculptor, swings down a hard head strike on Orin Ilkson. One of you idiots from the crowd throws a bottle that hits Flesh Sculptor, and then Flesh Sculptor gets a pair of well-placed strikes on Orin Ilkson, and then Orin Ilkson stabs Sir Balati, the Flesh Sculptor, deeply in the chest. But Flesh Sculptor gets a good hit on Orin, and then overkills him with 110 damage. Hit him in deeply and into his body, leaving a huge gash. Orin Ulkson is defeated and lifeless on the ground, and the people rejoice, and the Grand Champion keeps his title and leaves victorious, while the crowd chants, Sir Balati, the Flesh Sculptor. Sir Balati, the Flesh Sculptor. Doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it? And we win a very nice amount of gold. All right. What's his stats? Getting better. Wonder what his backstory is. I came from Arasuk, a place in the south. I was not meant for a place full of folk like that. No free thinking. I took to the roads with a passing knight who, for some ungodly reason, found himself in the south. We adventured around the land, and then after that, I was his squire, but I had to swing a sword many a time. Once we found ourselves in the north, defending a small village from Wilderman. Another time, we encountered a band of gold-armored warriors protecting a strange cave. Wild adventures indeed! Okay, so he's just a crazy adventurer then. We're going to bet on a fight. We're going to bet on the Eldritch Spark Orc, and I'm going to bet the maximum amount I can, which is 4,005. The crowd screams in yada yada. And then the Eldritch Spark Orc walks out and gets a sharp hit on the soldier. The soldier shouts, let's get this over with quickly. And then somehow hits the Spark Orc. Wow, I've never actually seen them get hit.
Extreme
Oh,
overkill.
there we go. The Eldritch Spark Orc does what they do and stabs the soldier in the head for some super critical hit, and he dead. Yay, we made money. Okay. I'm gonna go to exploring. We're gonna go to the Northern Lands, and once again, we're gonna go to the Black Market. We're gonna visit Dockrow once again. We are going to go to the East Dock Company. I'm going to arrange a shipping venture. We're going to go for mage tomes. They better not fail us this time. And then we are going to explore. The cold northern winds lead you astray. You encounter a little wagon carrying various goods. The wagon master, who identifies himself as the Wagon Man, recognizes you and bows and requests a trade agreement. We agree. He makes you like $100 here. And we found the Shallow Rock Mine, the Greenskin Mining Company. 30,000 gold to buy the mine. I'm going to speak with the leader of the company. Scroat, the leader of the Greenskin Mining Company, approaches you and greets you. He says he has 600 miners working hard to get as much out of the mines as he can. He says the miners were mostly from the old Goblin clan that was a little more civilized than others like Krut and Eric. I'm going to wait and then buy it when I have 30,000. This is true. No kill like overkill. Let's go to arranged diplomacy. Let's go to the Goblin Kingdom of Krut. I can make peace with them for 660 bucks. Sure. We spend 660 gold, and we're now at peace with the Kingdom of Eric. That's real cheap. We could check that. I mean, we could also very easily beat them. Like, there's not that many of them, but I'd rather just, like, not be at war with them. Let's view the bandit horde. Total men 37 for... How much to offer peace? You are looking to seek peace with the bandit horde of Fëanor to finally end your war with them. You choose who you send carefully. I could send my diplomat to ask for peace, and then finish off the rebels before I come back and fight the bandits again, which is what I think I'm gonna do. Your emissary carries out your request for peace and is met by the bandit ruler Fëanor, who says, "You can have peace if you're willing to pay." Well, I don't have the money, so we're gonna refuse. I mean, that's not worth it anyway. Alright, we'll keep attacking them then. That or I could just finish off the rebels. Yeah, I think we'll finish off the rebels. Let's go to recruit, hire units, hiring soldiers, hire soldiers. I will buy 67 of them to make Stone happy. And then we're gonna visit our 7 visitors. Send in the next visitor. You're visited by a stablehand who asks to join your army, as his farmland got raided by goblins. One peasant. You are visited by a befouled miner who asks to join your army, as his older brother once did. Also one peasant. You are visited by a befouled tavern goer who is followed by 6 young men. Hello, my cheese. My boys are old enough to serve you. It is good to start working in the employ of a cheese. Less likely to have your wage go missing, and more likely to have long-term work. You know, as it is, how it is. I am not a smart man, but I still got some wits about me. So, how about this? Militia peasants cost 16 per head, so take my boys for 14. That's 2 gold below the market rate. What do you say? Yeah, that's true of Stone. The rebels are very close to being dealt with. White Dog, what up, dude? Can't argue with that. I mean, true. It's like all the money I had left. Send in the next visitor. You are visited by a wise man who says he has some advice to share. We shall listen to the advice. The demonic horde is crushed by number, not skill. Shame, really. I am indifferent. You may go now. You are visited by a blacksmith who says he has a better design for the helmet that is used by the guards and soldiers and nobles of your kingdom. He offers to sell you the design for 200 gold. Look at the design. A mannequin is brought out with the blacksmith's new helmet design on display. He awaits eagerly for your reaction. What do you think of that helmet design, chat? We can't afford it anyway, but what do you think of it? You don't like it? Sup, Agent Number 1, by the way. Just a hat? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm gonna refuse his better design. The blacksmith says, well then, I've got one thing to say, and he burps at us. No one is waiting for you. Excellent. We are going to end the current year. Prepare to move on in your head by the way, my head diplomat's a goblin, which is one of the reasons we were able to make peace with those goblins. All right, we're going to attack the rebels. I'm going to invade the rebels. I'm going to send everyone but my peasants. Let's crush them. Yes, I would like to watch the battle. General Karok the Dastard. Heavy rain adorns the battlefield. Do you wish to launch? I shall wait for better weather. Seems like the weather got worse. Really? They have 69 dudes. Beneath the pouring rain, your army moves forward slowly to meet the rival group. A lone arrow is loosed, and your army charges out. I mean, they put up a good fight, but I suppose. You manage to push forward quickly and penetrate the center and break through and deal a great deal of damage. We gain 1 land. Poor rebels. There's always rebels, man. My cheese, the bandits have marched on us. Do you want to watch the battle take place? We have 627 defenders for the battle. Beneath the full moon, a lone unit charges forward, and the formation begins. This one I'm worried about because I don't have a great army. In the midst of the battlefield, a swarm of huge purple bees hits the battlefield and begins stinging and attacking everyone. A bunch of people die of allergic reactions. You manage to take both of your enemy's flanks, trapping them momentarily and doing damage before they pull back. You manage to form an effective pincer and overrun the opponents. And both sides push forward, but find themselves to be momentarily evenly matched. While fighting rages on, a green frog hops across the entire battlefield and makes it right to the end before being squished by one of the fighters. F. You fight forward and gain some marginal ground over the bandits. The bandits manage to break through your center before forcing your army back. You launch a sudden and hard attack, and the bandits on the bandits' lines, shocking them and pushing them back. And in the midst of a fighting, a small man climbs up atop a rock and plays on his trumpet. And for a moment, the fighting stops, and many applaud the trumpet player, and then seemingly out of nowhere, the fighting resumes, but with some ferocity. Oh no, this game's gotten some great updates. Like he's done such a good job on this game. Also, what's up, Madman? And 2 forces clash and attempt to outflank. Is outflank 1 or 2 words? Pretty sure that's 2 words. There's a space missing there. Each other, however, no one side appears to have the upper hand. You launch a sudden, hard, fast attack in the bandits' lines, shocking them and pushing them back. The skirmishing wins. The bandits were defeated in the name of Quaesidonia. There's a fire alarm going off in the other. Let's view the battle report. We kind of lost a lot of soldiers, but we won, so it's okay. Spy Master says, my cheese, spies have learned of a fight going on between the Orange Tribe and the Dreaded Worms. No, I don't want to watch this battle. All right. The Eastdock Company Mage Tomes venture has been successful, earning you 10,000 gold. Yes! You receive 306 gold in rent, because we have 6 lands now instead of 5. 921 gold from your gambling tax law, 2,498 gold from your general taxes, and 1,258 gold from this year's interest, or from this year's harvest. Pretty bad harvest this year. The wagon man gave me 150 bucks. Excellent. We earned 42 gold interest from your 14,236 stored gold. You enlist 17 soldiers from your 6 lands. Ale Gobbler sends 2 soldiers from Fort Northwatch. We need to figure out what's wrong with and why there's so few of them. And 19 local independent farmers pledged to join me. We pay a bunch of people money for reasons. And the bandit horde attempt to raid you, but fail. Okay. And a foreign noble with foes in Quaesidonia donates an army of 55 men to the rebellion. Boo! But they only have 1 land left. Quaesidonia invade the rebels. Quaesidonia lose 7 troops and the rebels lose 69. The bandits lost a skirmish with you, and Quaesidonia lose quite a few troops. And we get 13,506 gold. In the past year fades, years 170 dawns, and with it comes a great feeling of trust in your leadership of the realm. Plus 20 public opinion. No, I'm not training my champion. I've not been putting money into training my champion. Although I do need to, like, you know, manage staff and champions and all that. Or not that. I haven't set him as my personal champion, which is why he hasn't been trained. But let's go to income buildings. Let's go productivity buildings. You know, let's back out of that. We're gonna go to the arena. We're gonna bet on our grand champion again. No, that's not true, Gary. You can hire him as one of your personal champions and then you can train him, which is what I assumed you were talking about. But, I mean, he's doing all right. I also anointed him, made him a Sir. So we're going to bet on Sir Balati. I'm going to bet 7,500. The crowd cheers for blood and the two fighters emerge from the gates and march towards each other. I'm pretty hopeful on our guy. Sir Balati, Flesh Sculptor, blocks a swing from the old Leiden Hogger's son. Flesh Sculptor swings and misses by mere inches. But Flesh Sculptor then kicks him and knocks him over. But then Hogson blocks and hits Sir Flesh Sculptor. Flesh Sculptor quickly and easily blocks a hit. And then does 86 damage on an impressive strike.
Overkill.
And overkills him for an extra 68. Hey, we win 15 grand. You know what, chat? Hold on a second.
Woo!
Over here, he has a sword.
Oh no, we just won a bunch of money. But speaking of money, you guys have been really kind to me this week. Just like kind of a crazy amount of gift subs and kind of a stupid amount of bits. So I'm doing this. This is the last of my Japanese whiskey, my Suntory whiskey. So I'm gonna drink this. So thank you for a great week so far, chat. Also, let's check our grand champion again. What is his stats now? Yeah, he's 195, which is pretty good. Kind of want to arrange an 8-man tournament. But I don't think I can bet on it if I do that because I already did all my betting. All right, we are going to explore the realm, go to the Northern Lands. Actually, hold on a second. Can you know? I'm between two things. I either start a 15-man fight in the arena and bet on it, or I take my money out of the bank and go buy the Goblin Mine. You want to know what remains of the Rebel army? Very little. I think they had 2 lands, so I would assume like another 100 guys because they just got more stuff, but we can check. The Rebels... Yeah, so they have 149 dudes in 1 land, which we can get back this turn. All fights in the arena? All right, let's do it then. Tournaments. Let's arrange an 8-man tournament. +2 public opinion. And we're obviously going to bet on our grand champion, the Flesh Sculptor. The Grotesque. The Godly Gatherer. We're going to bet on our guy. I can bet 1,000. We're going to watch our fight with our guy. Korok the Pretender swings a light, but gets a great hit on Why does this happen sometimes? It's like he only has 62 health. That's... Really? Never mind. I don't understand why that wins. I'm just gonna, like, literally skip the rest of the tournament. Like, I just don't care. Grr. Grump. Well, I guess the Godly Gatherer is our new guy now. Let's look at the champion, the Godly Gatherer. Wow. He actually had worse stats than the other guy. At least I can bet now. I can bet on the Spark Warrior. I can bet 1,000 on him. So, Gary, I have this thing that says no backseating. Unless I am directly asking you a question, I don't want an answer.
Extreme over.
Anyway, I made a little bit of my money back. All right. If I actually wanted an answer, I would ask you for an answer. And I never do. You come across a camp of goblin colonists, and they are heading towards new lands. You start a new tribe, and seem confident and full of energy. Attempt to recruit them. The goblins thank you for your offer, but state that they cannot abandon their colonial ambitions. Try to convince them to assess the strength of the party. Maybe I'm pretty weak. Let's try to convince them to leave to their homeland. We didn't come this far to return. All right, fine. A lone scout sprints past you and shouts out a travel tip. We don't hear it clearly. You come across a tiny body of water named Urine Washed Adon Pond. The water is a yellowed color, and it seems to be being more goblin urine than actual water. Cast a line and try and fish. Sure. We get a gold coin. We caught nothing. We get 12 gold. I don't know how that works. I'm gonna skip a stone. Ew. We're gonna trawl the depths. Find another gold coin. Okay, that's gross. Moving on. I'm going to recruit soldiers. I'm gonna recruit 50. And I am going to back out all the way, and then I'm gonna go to the bank. We're gonna deposit. And we're going to visit the throne room. You are visited by a bard who says he has to join your army because he lost a bet. Well, all right. You are visited by a traveling bard who asks to show you the singing ways of the old Orcish for a price of 108 gold. A demon storms into your court and begs that you sacrifice a peasant of yours. He claims he was cursed by a wretched hag, and he has marched all the way from the southern gate to find a willing king. I'm not a king, I'm a supreme. If you sacrifice a peasant, I can die in peace. One less southern demon to worry about, he pleads. Huh. To the dungeons with him? I mean, like... The demon grunts and marches straight out of your courtroom. A magical presence of fear prevents any of your men from attacking him. You are visited by a livid fat farmer who tries to enter your throne room. Really, pilot? It need more words. Some people are hopelessly stuck in tar-flavored dung. All caught up. Are you... You are visited by a livid fat farmer who tries to enter your throne room, but gets stuck at the door. After a short while of wiggling and shifting, he pulls back and leaves. You are visited by an old man who asks if you could spare a few coins, as he and his family had to resort to eating their family. What the fuck? No! You are visited by a... Yeah, that's true, pilot. You are visited by a traveling bard, and he asks to play a song on his vampiric lute. I am a decent musician. I shall play you a lengthy song. Sure. It's almost got a riff. Chat, rate that performance. What'd you think? Was it great? Was it awesome? Was it terrible? Acceptable? To the dungeons with him? I think it almost had a riff for a bit there. Gotta stand for something. That was good? Okay. He nods in gratitude. We will let him leave our court. We got 5 people. You're visited by a crazy townsman who has a sword on his head. And he says, the feline is an admirable effort at preserving the true nature of man. I feel like we should thank him. What do you think, chat? What do you think of the man with the, You like the ones that whistle? I like the drum ones that did it. Sup, Radu? Radu, have you ever played this? I feel like this game would fit your style of thing. I'm going to thank him for his words. The man smiles and says, thank you, Great One. I heard rumors of your power and grace, and I see they are only slightly exaggerated. You are visited by a traveling bard who asks to play you a song on his little goblin drums for a price of 65 good. I'm pretty good at this, and I'll play you a lengthy song. Do we want to hear the goblin drums, chat? Kind of mid. I feel you there, mate. On that performance. It's expensive. I'll have you know we've killed the goblin slaver, freed goblin slaves, and are being nice to goblins wherever we get the opportunity, Gary. So ew all you want. We're gonna give him 65 bucks just to spite you. Lengthy my ass. That was acceptable. I'm going to let him leave my court. You are visited by a guard who says he needs some gold to repair a small makeshift watchtower. I'm going to refuse to help because they're just ripping me off every time, and you guys keep giving them $100. You are visited by a morbidly obese craftsman who wishes to do his duty for the realm and join the ranks of Quaesidonia, okay? You are visited by an insane hunter who wants to join your army because his wife is nagging him to death and he needs a break. At least he's happy about it. Shout outs for the enthusiasm. The insane hunter nods and then heads out to collect his new uniform and equipment. On his way, he shouts a loud war cry and startles a few of your guards. All right. Well, we've done everything we're gonna do for this year, so we're gonna end the current year. We're going to attack the rebels, except we're going to invade them. I'm going to send half of my troops, but no peasants. Ooh, I don't like the look of this. Wait, no, hold on. I'm looking at this wrong because they're not lined up. We have 62,000. They have 14,000. So no, we're good. I thought they had 140,000. My brain put another zero in that. Times for the rebels to hear Kogan's son. This is true. I had a crazy dream the other day about this game that made an adventure text mode. Yeah. Yes, I would like to watch the battle. Send the army forth. No weather. We get 50% invasion defense bonus. What? And beneath the thick clouds, your army marches out, gaining a fight to grinning to fight the enemy. A lone warrior bursts forward and begins swinging wildly. I think we're gonna win this by default, though. You push forward and quickly and penetrate the center and break through, and it does a great deal of damage. We lose 9, they lose a lot. And the rest of them fall. You break through the lines and manage to push the rebels back a little. And we get their last land, I think. The invasion was a success, and your troops gain land and glory in your name. Congratulations, my supreme. The rebellion is crushed, and Faradel the Kinslayer rests on a pike. And there are some who now declare their allegiance to you. And also, the slaver is dead. Just normal. I don't worry about min-maxing. Because I expect chat to fuck me constantly, Gary. I don't worry about difficulty. Play on normal. And we did the slaver, the I was a slave start. Slave uprising start. Congratulations, my supreme. The rebellion is crushed once again. So we get 10 public opinion, 200 peasants, 100 soldiers, 10 tribal goblins, 10 bandits, and 5 knights. Worth it. My cheese, I've learned at the time the circle and the bandits are fighting. Do you wish to watch the battle? Nah, I'm good. Ebony Raiders and the communities of Ren are fighting. Nah, I'm good. All right, let's see. I might need to go after those numbskulls who keep losing me money. We make some money from our lands, our gambling tax, gold from general taxes, and from this year's harvest. Trade caravans make us 59 bucks. 79 gold in interest from our 27,000 stored gold. Bandits pillage some money from Krut and Eric. We enlist 31 soldiers. Our knights train 25 peasants into soldiers. Ale Gobbler sends me 11 soldiers from the Fort North Watch. A small group of 10 local demon hunters pledge to join you. Cool. We pay people. Bandit Horde attempt to raid you and fail. 4 bandits captured and jailed. Lycut attempted to raid you and fail. 17 bandits captured and jailed. Your defense palisades prevent 2 raids. And we make 3 grand. That's a decent number of soldiers. Your 171 begins. And chat, I've been streaming for 10 hours. And you know what that means? I mean, most of you probably don't. But I need to go water my frickin' garden. Cheese.txt is saved. And that's us for the day. Ladies and gentle dorks. You can say goodbye to YouTube if you like. But it is time for us to wind down for the day.